One of the problems that you have when you're making dowels is the stock whipping around, not going through straight, so it's bending at the point of cut, and you can wind up with, a cut like this that's all botched and a lot thinner, let's say, than what you want, or just wind up being a mess when you're really looking for something like this. Nice, smooth cut all the way down. The problem with the dowel jigs that I've made using some YouTube videos is that there's quite a distance between where the dowel hits the blade or the router bit and where it actually comes out on this end at the size you want, and that allows for too much whip on your stock. And so what I've done here, I took an idea off of a YouTube video that gave some adjustment instead of on the table saw where you can adjust up and down, but you've got a big space over here that I don't know. I had a lot of problems with it and a lot of whip action in here. So I wasted a lot of wood trying to get my dowels nice and uniform. So a suggestion on YouTube was that you use a 45-degree bit on your router table. So this could be adjusted up and down at very minute calculations. So you could get a better tuning in, I guess you would say, on your dowel rods. So I tried that, and I first tried it with 2 of these on each side, and that gave me a lot of whip action in here, and so I wasn't getting what I wanted. So then I added this to the this is the outside, and I still had quite a bit of whip action. So I added this one on also, and then raised this bit up into these 2. So I don't have a 0 clearance here, but it's pretty close. And as you can see on this dowel rod right here, you can see where it first goes in. I'm trying to find the exit hole, and so it's cutting a little bit too much here. But once I find the exit hole and it goes in, then it stops vibrating. It stops vibrating on this end and on the input end. So I wind up with a nice clean cut across here. So this has worked out pretty well. Now the one thing that I did notice on my jig is if you don't have everything, like particularly on the input end, if you don't have that width almost exactly the size of the input hole, then it can whip a little because you've got some playroom in there. Or if you get it too big, then you can wind up having to use a lot of force to push against this side. And that's why I have beefed in here 2 clamps to hold this side down, a clamp to hold that side down, and then I have these knobs on my router fence tightened down really well, so I'm not getting any movement here. But I think the main thing to take away is you would measure the input hole, and I think on mine it's a 1/2 inch is what I made. And these are like a 64th less than a 1/2 inch square. Let's see, is that right? I don't know, I'd have to look at that again. Obviously the diagonal across this square is the distance that you're looking for. So I think that may be a 1/2 inch, the diagonal here, as opposed to, measure one side, it could be 7/16, but if you measure the diagonal, it's going to be larger than that. And so that diagonal needs to be just slightly under or even right at, and you don't want to get too much pressure on your input hole, but right at the size of your hole on that diagonal. So that's about 3 inches of wasted space on my dowels.